Arkansas football meets LSU in the 2026 regular season finale. Lane Kiffin will be standing on the sideline opposite Ryan Silverfield. He has become the talk of college football for every possible reason, mostly bad but never dull. Lane Kiffin had achieved something very special at Ole Miss, taking a non-blue blood SEC program to the college football playoff. It should have been a career and life highlight, finally standing in the playoff spotlight on his own. In previous trips to the playoff, Lane Kiffin was Nick Saban's offensive coordinator at Alabama. In previous bowl championship series games years earlier, Kiffin was an assistant to Pete Carroll at USC. Being a good head coach, his own boss, his own leader, took a very long time for Kiffin to achieve. He flopped in 1 year at Tennessee and then in a brief tenure at USC. Kiffin was, a decade and a half ago, a man who failed upward. Teams hired him despite a lack of proven results as a head coach. He went to the Nick Saban Rehabilitation Facility in Tuscaloosa and helped Saban win national titles, but his head coaching career had stalled. He needed to learn how to do the job, and that's why his short stay at Florida Atlantic was so important for him and his career. He wasn't coaching at a big-time school, surrounded by cameras and demanding fans. He didn't have to play for the cameras. He was in a small conference whose football games were played in small stadiums largely removed from the public eye. He had to do the no-glory work of building a program, leading men, and tending to the details of a full operation. Florida Atlantic gave Kiffin just enough perspective and appreciation for the difficulty of coaching. It reminded Kiffin that the work comes first. When Kiffin turned that FAU experience into a fruitful tenure at Ole Miss, he should have been grateful. Which is precisely why Ole Miss fans specifically and college football fans generally view him so negatively, and rightly so, for bolting for LSU. We all know that coaches take other jobs when preparing for the playoff or their bowl game, but Kiffin had to have known, as all of us do, that leaving for a rival is a no-no. If Kiffin had wanted to leave Ole Miss for Penn State, fine. Ole Miss would have allowed him to coach in the playoff. Kiffin wouldn't have coached against a rival in the SEC. Ole Miss wouldn't have been happy, but it wouldn't have felt betrayed. Ole Miss to LSU? No, that's different. Kiffin wanted to coach Ole Miss in the playoff while lining up his LSU staff and setting up a program to compete directly against Ole Miss in future seasons. Ole Miss rightly stood its ground. Kiffin showed a lack of maturity, recalling his pre-Florida Atlantic days. Now Kiffin has national championship expectations at LSU, and will be rightly skewered if he doesn't at least come close to meeting them. Lane Kiffin chose to wear the black hat as the SEC's ultimate bad guy. Let's see if this villain can at least win. Arkansas will try to stand in his way.